My name is Gumboldt and I'm a student at Seattle Colleges. And if you're like me, like most students, then you have to be feeling a little bit nervous about starting your college and filling up your application with necessary paperwork. So today I'm going to walk you through the application process and give you some tips about getting started. So if you're ready, let's jump in. The first thing you need to figure out is which financial aid application you need to complete. You'll either need to fill out the FAFSA, which is a free application for federal students aid, or FAFSA. You only need to submit one application and most students should submit the FAFSA. But to be sure about which is the right one for you, you can complete the questionnaire here. The link is also in the description below. So go ahead and pause the video and complete the questionnaire, and I'll just be waiting for you. Okay, now that you know which financial aid application you need to fill out, FAFSA or FAFSA, there are a few things to know that will help you fill out the application. So settle in, grab a snack, and let's jump right in. It's a good idea to have your parent nearby to fill out your application. There are some sections in the application that will be easier to complete with their help. It will probably be easier if you gather all the information you need before you start. But if not, that's okay. You can update your information later. So the most important thing that you have to do at first is to check the spelling of your name and make sure you provide the correct social security number or a number. Also, most students will need to include the parent info, biological or adoptive, on their application, even if you don't live together or don't get their financial support. There are some cases where you only need to include your info, like if you're in a legal guardianship or foster care. If you're unable to provide the parent information, you'll need supporting documentation and may need to take an appointment with your college's financial aid team to complete their application. So when you're entering your parent info, you should list the one that you live with the most. When you're asked about the household size, you'll only count the people you live with the most or the ones who are supported by you or your parents' income. So basically, roommates and cats don't count. You'll only get asked for two sets of tax informations, yours and your parents'. So make sure to pay attention to which information goes where. If you don't have income, you can just put 0 in the income earned box. It could help to have a parent around to check the numbers. If you or a parent didn't file taxes in the United States, but filed a tax return or paid taxes in a foreign country, you'll need to convert your income to US dollars. Now, you might be feeling like you need some help on your application. Don't worry. Seattle Colleges has an entire team of financial specialists who are there to help you. So reach out to them anytime you want. Now, we'll walk through filling out the FAFSA. If you need to complete the FAFSA, you can skip right ahead for those instructions. The first thing you'll need to do is set up your Federal Students Aid ID or FSA ID by visiting this site. Both you and your parent will need an FSA ID. Now, if your parents have applied for this before or they help one of your siblings apply, then they have to use the same FSA ID as they used before. Make sure that the name you put on your FAFSA and FSA ID match your legal name on your social security card or green card. If you need help with this step, there's a link in the description below that can help you walk through the setting up part of the FSA ID. So, once you have your FSA ID, write down your username and password and keep them in a safe place. Now, you want to go to FAFSA.gov and fill out your application. You want to fill out the FAFSA that has the same years as your first academic year in college. So if your first year as a Seattle College student spans from 2021 to 2022, you'll need to fill out the 2021 to 2022 FAFSA. Oh, also when asked, always say yes if you're interested in work-study. Work-study jobs are typically provided through the school, are paid, and work around your class schedule. So now you get to a page that asks you for what colleges you want to send the FAFSA to. You should send it to a Seattle college that you plan to attend. Now, if you're not sure, you can still send it to all 3 Seattle colleges. So here are the school codes, and you can also find them in the description below. Now, the good news is you can send FAFSA to as many schools you want because it's free. About halfway through the FAFSA application, you'll get to the dependency section. If you're unable to provide parent information, complete as much as you can and contact the Seattle colleges financial aid team to get help. It's really important to get this section exactly right, and we're here to help. If your parent doesn't have a social security number, they should enter all zeros in the social security number section. Don't use a tax ID number. It will just cause errors. After you enter your parents' information, the application will ask you if you want to use an IRS data retrieval tool. Now, using this tool is very useful because it will automatically import your parents' financial info and help you avoid mistakes. Just make sure that you enter your information as exactly as it appears on your tax return, including abbreviations. Now, if you're unable to use this tool, it's completely fine. You can just manually enter your information. Just be extra careful when you enter it. There is one last question that asks if you're a preparer. Now, that can be confusing, but it's really just asking if you're being paid to prepare this application for someone else. Sort of like how some people pay for someone else to do their taxes. Since you filled out your own FAFSA, you can just say no. Lastly, make sure to agree to the terms and conditions after you read them. If you don't select agree, you won't be able to sign and submit. And that's it! Congratulations on submitting your FAFSA! Now, I know it took a while to go through all that information, but it should go faster when you don't have me explaining everything. And again, if you need help, Seattle College's team is there for you. Now, welcome to the FAFSA part of the video. Now, the first step is to go to readysetgrad.wa.gov/WASFA to register for a FAFSA account. To just keep it simple, use the same email you use for the Seattle College's account that you set up. It will just keep things very simple because you won't forget it. So when you create your account, you'll be asked for your social security, DACA, or IT number. Now, if you don't have any of these, just leave this section blank. You can totally complete the FAFSA application without it, but including it will help you link with your information and make the process go way faster and easier. So after you create your account, you'll be directed to the FAFSA application. Now, first of all, make sure you fill out the right one. You want the application that has the same years as your first academic year in college. So if your first year as a Seattle College student spans from 2021 to 2022, you'll need to fill out the 2021 to 2022 FAFSA. Now, as you go through the application, you'll see a green menu on the left section, and the numbers in the top green bar will tell you how many parts are in each section, basically showing your progress. Remember, as you go through the form, you'll need to click on Save and Continue at the end of every page. Now, if you have a DACA or work authorization, be sure to say yes that you're interested in work-study program. Work-study jobs are typically provided through the school, are paid, and work around your class schedule, which is very neat. Now, about halfway through the application, you'll see a dependency determination section. Now, if these are the questions that you don't have the answer to, don't worry. Just answer as much as you can. And if you're unable to provide the parent information, go ahead and submit the application. Then reach out to the Seattle College's financial team for assistance. You may need to provide additional information for that. Now, this part can be tricky. This is the student and the tax data part. Now, if you didn't work during the tax year, just enter 0 in the income earned box. Now, if your parent doesn't have a social security number, just enter 00000 in that box. At the end of the FAFSA application, it is very important for you to sign it electronically. Then, you need to invite your parent to sign it via email. And your parent's email must be different than yours, obviously. Be sure to enter their email address very carefully. This is basically how they will be contacted to sign your FAFSA. After you submit your application, your parents will receive an email within 3 days to sign it as well. Then they can sign and submit your application. Now, just a heads up, you won't get an email confirmation when this happens, but you can still log back into your FAFSA portal to confirm that it's been submitted. Now, once your parents sign the FAFSA, it will be sent to the colleges that you selected. And you're done! Congratulations! And again, if you need help, Seattle College's team is there to provide any support. Now, I just want to say thank you so much for following along on how to complete the FAFSA and FAFSA applications. I really hope that was helpful, and bye everyone.